I have done 30 plus certifications and am here to guide you throughout your certification journey. In this video, we will be covering some important questions of the Microsoft PL-200 exam. You can find the complete PDF of this video and our practice questions through the link down in the description. To the important questions. Question 1. You need to set up a new service request completion process. Which two components should you include in the solution? Firstly, let's discuss the incorrect options. We have B, business process flow. It provides guidance through steps but cannot automate tasks. And then we have D, connection. It links to data sources but lacks manageability and reusability compared to a connection reference. As such, the two components that we should include in the solution are connection reference and power automate flow. Thus, the correct options are and C. Connection reference is a solution component that contains information about a connector. Both Canvas app and operations within a Power Automate flow bind to a connection reference. You can import your connection reference into a target environment with no further configuration needed after the import completes. Question 2. You need to create the FAQ solution content. What should you do first? Firstly, let's discuss the incorrect options. We have A, AI Builder. While AI Builder provides AI models for advanced scenarios, it is not used to generate FAQ topics directly. Then we have B, Automate. Automation is for streaming workflows, not for identifying FAQ topics. And then we have D, trigger phases. These are added later to refine user queries but are not the starting point for creating FAQ content. As such, we should first suggest topics. Thus, the correct option is C. Suggesting topic allows the system to analyze existing data and identify potential FAQ topics. This is the first step in creating an FAQ solution. You need to make sure that there are three main steps that are needed to do while doing import FAQ and add the topic to your bot application. First, import suggested topics from FAQ web page. Second, add a topic. And three, enable the topics. Question 3. Your organization does not permit the use of custom code for solutions. You need to create a view that can be viewed by all users in an organization. Where should you create the view? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B. Microsoft Visual Studio. It is used for custom coding and development, which is not allowed in this scenario. Then we have templates area. Templates are used for creating reusable components but are not relevant for creating views. And we have Maker Portal. While the Maker Portal is used for designing pages, views for entities are configured directly in the list view of the entity, not in the Maker Portal itself. As such, we should create the view in the list view of the entity. Thus, the correct option is A. The list view of an entity allows you to create and configure views directly in the Power Apps environment without using custom code. These views can be shared with all users in the organization. Question 4. You are creating a business rule to implement new business logic. You must apply the business logic to a Canvas app that has a single screen named Screen 1. You need to configure the scope for the business rule. Which scope should you use? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, screen 1. Scope cannot be set to a specific screen in a Canvas app. Business rules operate at the entity or form level, not the screen level. Then we have all forms. The scope applies the business rule only to model driven apps, not to Canvas apps. Then we have D, global. The global scope is not a valid option for business rules. Business rules must be tied to an entity, form, or attribute. As such, the scope that we should use is entity. Thus, the correct option is B. Note, Some terminology has changed and entity is now table. If you are building a Canvas app, you must use table as the scope. Question 5. You must create a new entity to support a new feature for an app. Records for the entity must be associated with a business unit and specify security roles for the business unit. You need to configure entity ownership. Which entity ownership type should you use? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, organization owned. This type applies to entities where all users in the organization can access the records without restrictions based on business units or roles. Then we have C, none. This is not a valid ownership type for entities that require security and association with business units. And then we have D, business owned. This is used for entities owned by a business but does not allow granular role based access control for users or teams within a business unit. As such, the entity ownership type that we should use is user or team owned. Thus, the correct option is A. Dataverse supports two types of record ownerships: organization owned and user or team owned. The user or team owned ownership type allows records to be associated with a business unit and managed with specific security roles. This ensures that access to records is based on the user's role and business unit aligning with the requirements. Question 6. You have two Microsoft Power Platform environments. Users in one environment must not be able to see the other environment. You need to grant salespeople access to the sales company environment. What should you do? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B. Add salespeople to a security role. Security roles manage permissions within an environment, not access to the environment itself. Then we have C, set privileges. Privileges define what actions users can take within an environment, but do not control access to the environment. Then we have D, set app security. App security limits access to specific apps within an environment, but does not restrict environment level access. As such, we should, based on the question, add salespeople to an Office 365 security group. Thus, the correct option is A. If an environment does not have an associated security group, all users with a Dataverse license will be created as users and enabled in the environment. So, in this case, I guess security group was implemented. So, in order that salespeople will be able to get access to the environment, I should add them to a security group. Question 7. A veterinary office plans to use Power Platform to streamline customer experiences. The customer creates a Canvas app to manage appointments. On the client appointment form, there is a drop down field for clients to select their type of pet. If a client selects the option other, the veterinarian wants a text field to appear so that additional details can be added. You need to create a dynamically visible field. What should you configure? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, workflows. Workflows are used for automating back-end processes such as sending emails or creating records and do not manage field visibility in real time. Then we have business process flows. Business process flow guide users through a multi-step process and do not handle dynamic field visibility within a form. As such, the correct option is C, business rule. Thus, the correct option is C. By combining conditions and actions, you can do any of the following with business rules: set column values, clear column values, set column requirement levels, show or hide columns, enable or disable columns, validate data and show error messages, create business recommendations based on business intelligence. Question 8. You create an app for the sales team at a company. Members of the sales team cannot access the app. You need to ensure that sales team members can access the app. Where should you configure app permissions? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have a dynamic administration center. This is used for managing environments, not for configuring app specific permissions. Then we have C, security roles. While security roles determine access to data, app permissions must be assigned directly through the Manage Roles option for the app. As such, we should configure app permissions in Manage Roles. Thus, the correct option is B. The Manage Roles option allows you to assign specific security roles to the app. This determines which users or teams can access the app based on their signed roles. You can choose what users see and access from the My Apps page or the customer engagement homepage by giving app access to specific security roles. Users will have access to apps based on the security roles they are assigned to. Question 9. You create a parent entity and a child entity. The parent entity has a 1:n relationship with the child entity. You need to ensure that when the owner changes on the parent record that all child records are assigned to the new owner. You need to configure the relationship behavior type. What should you use? Firstly, let's discuss the incorrect options. We have a referential. Referential relationships maintain referential integrity but do not cascade ownership changes to child records. Then we have B, referential restrict delete. This prevents deletion of the parent record if related child records exist but does not cascade ownership changes. Then we have D, restrict. This restricts operations such as deletion of the parent record but does not propagate ownership changes to child records. As such, we should use parental. Thus, the correct option is C. Parental table relationship is any 1:n table relationship where one of the cascading options in the parental column of the following table is true. A parental relationship ensures that changes to the parent entity, such as owner changes, cascade automatically to child records. This satisfies the requirement of reassigning all child records to the new owner when the parent record's ownership changes. Question 10. A user has access to an existing common data service database. You need to ensure that the user can create Canvas apps that consume data from Dataverse. You must not grant permissions that are not required. Which out of the box security role should you assign to the user? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, environment admin, grants full control over the environment, which is unnecessary. Then we have B, system customizer. It focuses on schema customization, not app creation. Then we have C, common data service user. It provides data access but no app creation permissions. As such, the out of the box security role that we should assign to the user is environment maker. As such, the correct option is D. Environment makers may create apps that access Dataverse entities, though they may not then open the apps and use them. To use the apps and access the Dataverse database, the users need additional roles like System Customizer. The user already has access to the CDS, so he doesn't need more privileges other than being able to create apps. So the environment maker should be right, only grant permissions required. So environment maker should be correct. Question 11. You plan to implement Microsoft Dataverse. You must track changes for two columns in the account table. You must maintain a historical log of changes for the two columns and track only what is necessary. Configure the appropriate organization settings. You need to configure the system to track changes for the two columns. Which two actions should you perform? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have C, enable change tracking for the account table. Change tracking is used for synchronization, not for maintaining a historical log of changes. Then we have D, enable change tracking for the two specific columns. Change tracking cannot be enabled at the column level and does not maintain an audit log. As such, the two actions that we should perform are enable auditing for the account table and enable auditing for the two specific columns. Thus, the correct options are A and B. By setting the is audit enabled property of a table's definition, and the is audit enabled property of each desired column's definition to true. Data changes to records of those tables can be logged by the platform. Note, there are three levels where auditing can be configured: organization, table, column. The organization level is the highest level, followed by the table level, and finally the column level. For column auditing to take place, auditing must be enabled at the column, table, and organization levels. For table auditing to take place, auditing must be enabled at the table and organization levels. Question 12. Your organization does not permit the use of custom code for solutions. You need to create a view that can be viewed by all users in an organization. Where should you create the view? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A. Advanced Find. Views created using Advanced Find are personal views and cannot be shared with all users. Then we have C. Microsoft Excel template. Excel templates are for exporting data but do not create views in the system. And then we have templates area. The templates area is related to creating views for entities. As such, we should create view in the entities component of a solution. Thus, the correct option is B. Entities component of a solution is the correct answer. Please understand that in the classic view, when we select entity selection and under that when view is selected, we are populated with four different types of views. With a provision, create a view. Using advanced find means that they would need to share it to everyone. Question 13. You attempt to deactivate several currencies in a Microsoft Dataverse environment. You are not able to deactivate one of the currencies. You need to determine why you cannot deactivate the currency. What is the reason? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A. You are not the currency record owner. Now, ownership does not affect the ability to deactivate a currency, as this is determined by its role in the system. Then we have B. The currency is used by an active business process. While usage in a process might restrict other actions, it does not prevent deactivation unless it is the base currency. And then we have D. The currency is used by another record. Currencies linked to records can still be deactivated as long as they are not the base currency. And through this, we can tell that the correct reason is that the currency is the base currency. As such, the correct option is C. The base currency in a Dataverse environment is essential for all financial transactions and cannot be deactivated. It serves as the default currency for calculations and conversions across the system. Question 14. A user has access to an existing Microsoft Dataverse database. You need to ensure that the user can create Canvas apps that consume data from Dataverse. You must not grant permissions that are not required. Which out of the box security role should you assign to the user? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have a environment admin. It grants full control over the environment, including managing settings and permissions, which exceeds the requirements. Then we have a B, basic user. It provides basic access to view and interact with data, but does not allow creating apps. Then we have a D, it allows customizing the system schema, but is unnecessary for simply creating Canvas apps. As such, the role that we should assign to the user is environment maker. Thus, the correct option is C. The environment maker can create new resources associated with an environment, including apps, connections, system APIs, gateways, and flows using Microsoft Power Automate. However, this role does not have any privileges to access data within an environment. Question 15. Company has locations in the US, Brazil, India, and Japan. The company conducts financial transactions in all of these regions. Financial transactions in Brazil are going to stop, but the office will remain open. Users must no longer be able to create records associated with the Brazilian currency. Historical records must remain intact. You need to configure Microsoft Dataverse to meet the requirement. What should you do? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A. Disable the Brazilian language pack. Language packs affect the user interface, not currency configuration. Then we have B. Rename the Brazilian currency. Renaming does not prevent its use in transactions and could cause confusions. Then we have C. Delete the Brazilian currency record. Deleting the record would break reference in historical data, which must remain intact. As such, the option that we should use is to deactivate the Brazilian currency record. Thus, the correct option is D. You cannot delete currencies that are in use by other records. You can only deactivate them. Deactivating currency records does not remove the currency information stored in existing records, such as opportunities or orders. However, you won't be able to select the deactivated currencies for new transaction. Question 16. You are embedding a Power Apps visual in a Power BI dashboard. External customers must authenticate to have access to the dashboard. You need to configure the solution. Which two actions should you perform? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B. Use a table in the Power BI dashboard. While tables are often used in dashboards, they do not address authentication or sharing Power Apps visual. Then we have C. Publish to Power BI Report Server. Power BI Report Server is for on-premises use and does not support direct sharing with external users over the cloud. And then we have D. Set the Power BI service to allow anonymous access. Allowing anonymous access compromise security and does not meet authentication requirements. As such, the two actions that we should perform are set the Power BI service to authenticate users and share the Power Apps visual components with external users. Thus, the correct options are A and E. The output message in the ECC queue contains the XML payload that is returned from the MID server after it has completed its task. The message includes the result of the operation, such as discovered data or attributes, which are sent to Microsoft for further processing. Question 17. Company uses Power Apps. Users must be able to view only the address one columns in the count table. You need to ensure that address columns are not visible to users when creating views and filters. What should you do? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A. Delete the other address columns from the table. Deleting columns permanently removes data which might not be appropriate or necessary. Then we have C. Use column level security to remove read access to all users. This completely blocks access to the data in those columns, not just hiding them from views or filters. And then we have D. Create business rules to hide the other address columns. Business rules work on forms but do not affect the ability to include columns in views or filters. As such, we should disable the search option for the columns. Thus, the correct option is B. Disabling the search option for specific columns prevents users from including those columns in views and filters. This ensures that only the just one column is visible for use, aligning with the requirement. Question 18. You plan to add a Power Apps app to Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Dataverse for Teams environment has not been provisioned. You need to create a Dataverse for Teams environment. Which two actions can you perform? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have C. Create a new environment in the Microsoft Power Platform Admin Center. The Power Platform Admin Center does not support manually creating Dataverse for Teams environments, as they are created automatically when needed. Then we have D. Create an app permission policy in the Teams Admin Center. App permission policies manage app availability and access in Teams but do not create Dataverse environments. As such, the two actions that we can perform are to create a new app in Teams and install an existing app in Teams. Thus, the correct options are A and B. The Dataverse for Teams environment is automatically created for the selected team when you create an app or bot in Microsoft Teams for the first time or install an app created using Power Apps from the app catalog for the first time. Question 19. A company uses a Power Apps app with Microsoft Dataverse. The company requires the import of records into Dataverse. Duplicate records in the data must be deleted without user intervention. You create a duplicate detection rule. You need to configure the rule for the data import. Which option should you configure? Firstly, we should eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, enable the templates for data import option. This option facilitates creating templates for structured data imports but does not address duplicate detection. Then we have C, disable the allow duplicates option. This prevents duplicates but does not ensure their detection and removal during data imports. Then we have D, this applies to record creation or updates via forms or workflows, not during data imports. As such, the option that we should configure is enable the during data import option. Thus, the correct option is A. The during data import option in a duplicate detection rule ensures that duplicate records are identified and removed automatically when records are imported into Dataverse. This aligns with the requirement to eliminate duplicates without user intervention. Question 20. The company uses Power Apps with Microsoft Dataverse. The company enables auditing on the Dataverse database. The company tenant reaches the maximum storage capacity. You need to delete some auditing data. Which three deletion options should you use? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B between two specified dates. Dataverse auditing does not natively support filtering deletion by date ranges. Then we have by column. While you can retain only written audit data, this approach is typically configured as part of data retention policies, not manual deletion. As such, the three deletion options that we should use are by record, by table, and older than a specified date. Thus, the correct options are A, C, and D. Logs by table. Select one or more tables for which you want to delete audit logs. Access logs by people and systems. Delete all access logs. This will delete all logs for all users and systems. All logs up to and including the selected date. Delete all logs before and including timestamp. Question 21. Company is evaluating the capabilities in Metaverse and the scenarios for using virtual tables. You need to identify the capabilities of virtual tables. What is a capability of virtual tables? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A. Virtual tables store data in the Dataverse environment. Virtual tables do not store data in Dataverse. They provide a connection to external data. Then we have C. Virtual tables can be configured for user and team ownership. Virtual tables are not owned by users or teams. They are system defined. Then we have D. Virtual tables support Dataverse auditing. Auditing is not supported for virtual tables because the data resides outside Dataverse. As such, the correct capability of virtual tables is that virtual tables retrieve data from an external data store. Thus, the correct option is B. Virtual tables allow Dataverse to connect to and display data stored in external data sources in real time. The data is not physically stored in Dataverse, making them ideal for integration scenarios. Question 22. You have a form that displays a custom field from an entity. A customer wants to restrict users from filtering on the custom field. You need to prevent users from filtering the field in advanced find. What should you modify? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, fields in the edit filter criteria option of the quick find menu. This option modifies the filter criteria for the quick find view, not advanced find. Then we have C, fields in the add find columns option of the quick find view. This option determines which fields are searchable in quick find, not in advanced find. As such, we should modify a searchable field on the field properties form. Thus, the correct option is B. Setting searchable property to no makes the field disappear from the available fields for the filter configuration. but it won't hide the field when adding columns to the view. This property has no impact on behavior of the global and quick find search. Question 23. Company is implementing Power Apps and Power Automate. Several components are created within Power Apps, Microsoft Dataverse, and Power Automate. These components must be promoted from the development environment to the user acceptance test environment in a single solution page. You need to create the solution package for promotion. Where should you create the package? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A. Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps is a tool for managing application lifecycle and CI/CD pipelines, but does not directly create solution packages for Power Platform. Then we have C. Microsoft Power Platform Admin Center. This is used for managing environments and settings, but it does not provide tools for creating solutions. Then we have D. Azure Portal. The Azure Portal is for managing Azure services and resources, not Power Platform solutions. And then we have E, Office 365 Admin Center. This manages Office 365 users and services, not Power App Solution. As such, we should create the package in Power Apps Designer. Thus, the correct option is B. To create and manage solutions, you should use the Power Apps Maker portal. From there, you can create a solution, add components, and export the solution package for promotion to the user acceptance test environment. Question 24. Company is creating a Power App solution for a production facility. The current solution is in English. The customized components must be translated into several languages. You need to extract the text for a translation. In which location can you achieve this goal? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, the tables in the web application. Tables store data, not translatable solution components like labels or metadata. Then we have B, the selected environment in the Microsoft Power Platform Admin Center. The Admin Center is used for managing environments, not for extracting translation text. Then we have D, the individual solution components in the web application. You cannot extract translations individually, they are managed at the solution level. As such, the location in which we can achieve this goal is the solution in the web application. Thus, the correct option is C. The scope of the localizable text that will be exported is the unmanaged solution that contains the localizable text. From Power Apps, select solutions. Second, in the All Solutions list, select the unmanaged solution that contains the localizable text you want. Then, third, on the command bar, select translations and then export translations. Question 25. A customer tracks events by using a custom entity. The custom entity includes a custom field for the venue of the events. The customer must be able to display the events by venue in a calendar. You need to ensure that all events display by venue in the calendar. To which component should you add a control? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have a form. Forms are used for editing or displaying single records, not for aggregating and displaying data like a calendar. Then we have B, subgrid. Subgrids are embedded in forms to show related records but are not used to define or display data in a calendar format. Then we have C, chart. Charts are for graphical data visualization, not for calendar based displays. As such, the component to which we should add a control is view. Thus, the correct option is D. If you use unified interface, you can display any record in a calendar view via the calendar control. First, go to settings, then customization, and then customize the system. Then open the configuration for the entity that you want to use the calendar control. Then click the view tab and then click add control and select the calendar control. Then click the dot for every interface from which you want the calendar control to be available. Question 26. You are creating a Canvas app. A user will click a button on each screen of a Power Apps app to proceed to the next screen. You need to implement the act which selects the next screen that the user sees. Which event should you handle? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have a screen transition. This is not an event but a property used to define the transition effect when navigating between screens. Then we have C onload. This event does not exist in Power Apps for Canvas apps. Then we have D oncheck. This event applies to checkbox controls and is not relevant to button actions for screen navigation. As such, the event that we should handle is on select. Thus, the correct option is B. The on select event is triggered when a user interacts with a control, such as clicking a button. To navigate to the next screen, you configure the on select property of the button with a formula like navigate brackets next screen. Question 27. You are a Dynamics 365 customer service developer. A salesperson creates a chart. You need to ensure that the chart is available to all users on the team. What should you do? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, sign the chart to each person on the team. Signing a chart transfers ownership to another user, but it does not allow simultaneous access for multiple users. Then we have C, export the user chart, Power BI, import the chart as Power BI visualization. This is an unnecessary step. Power BI is not required for sharing a chart in Dynamics 365. Then we have D, export the user chart for import as a user chart. Exporting and re-importing is unnecessary when the chart can be directly shared. As such, we should share the chart with the team. Thus, the correct option is A. In Dynamics 365, charts created by a user are considered personal charts by default. To make a chart available to all team members, you need to share the chart with the team. Sharing ensures that everyone on the team can view and use the chart without requiring individual assignments or exports. Question 28. Company collaborates by using Microsoft Teams. You must create a Power Apps app directly from within a Teams channel. The app will be used by members of the channel to manage sales orders. You need to create the app by using Dataverse for Teams. How should you create the app? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B. Create a Canvas app by using the App Studio app. App Studio app in Teams is for creating and managing Teams app, not Power Apps. Then we have C. Use the Power Apps Web Designer. The Power Apps Web Designer is used to create apps outside of the Teams environment and is not tied to Dataverse for Teams. Then we have D. Create a model-driven app by using the App Studio app. Model-driven apps are not typically created through Teams or App Studio. This workflow is designed for external or standalone Power Apps environments. As such, we should create a Canvas app by using a Power Apps personal app in Teams. Thus, the correct option is A. You can use the Power Apps app from the default Teams catalog as a personal app and create apps to share with Teams in Teams. More information, install the Power Apps personal app. Question 29. Company creates a Canvas app. The app requires users to enter their social security number. The app should only display the last four digits when the user taps to a different column. You need to configure the app. Which option should you use? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have a business rule. It handles logic at the data level, not UI masking in Canvas apps. Then we have B, business process flow. It guides processes, not for formatting app data. Then we have C, Power BI TX. It is used in Power BI, not applicable to Power Apps behavior. As such, the option that we should use is Power Effects. Thus, the correct option is D. Add a calculated column with Power Effects to have last four digits SSN. Question 30. The company uses Power Apps. The company plans to create a Canvas app that uses a responsive design. You need to configure the app. Which two actions should you perform? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, Configure the height and width properties by using drag handles. Drag handles set fixed dimensions, which are not suitable for responsive designs. Then we have C. Enable the lock orientation setting. Locking orientation limits flexibility, which goes against the principle of responsive design. As such, the two actions that we should perform are disable the scale to fit setting and configure the height and width properties by using a formula. Thus, the correct options are A and D. A, because you activate responsiveness by turning off the app scale to fit setting, which is on by default. When you turn the setting off, you also turn off lock aspect ratio because you are no longer designing for a specific screen shape. D, because to make your app's layouts respond to changes in the screen dimensions, you shall write formulas that use the width and height properties of the screen. These were all the questions for this video. You can find the complete PDF of this video and our practice questions through the link down in the description. We will be publishing more parts to this series in the future, so please make sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.